Hello and welcome to Light Your Life. Here we are again. Thank you so much for lending your ear, your attention, your heart, your soul, your sense of curiosity, that growth seed inside of you that wants to become more of who you authentically are, who wants to surmount any odds that happen to come into your sphere of life and say that which I am becoming is right here, right now. We each time, you and I and our guest, we sit at the hem of wisdom itself and we pull it in and say, how can it grow me? So thank you again. I'm your host, Tina Marie St.Cyr, and it's so great to be with you today. What we're diving into is getting to meet one of our bonfire coaches. I love introducing you to the staff we have here and the people that have come not only to the bonfire, they have been clients. And because of the effect in their own lives of the tool sets and the frameworks and the methodologies that we use here at Bonfire, it's transformed them. They've said, hey, I want to be a coach. I want to do this for other people too. And that's why you're going to get to meet Kara St.Cyr. Now, first, I want to let you know, we share the same last name. That's the funny part, isn't it? So Kara, let's talk about that. We share the same last name. However, we have not been able to figure out that we're actually blood related. Of course, we're soul related, right?
Absolutely.
And it's such an interesting last name. Like whenever I married into the St.Cyr name, I literally thought, can we buy a vowel? Because it's like there's not enough vowels here. And I don't know if you have this experience in like meeting people or customer service or people that just look at your name either on your license or somewhere and they're going, how do we say this? Right. What are some of the stories you've had with the last name St.Cyr? What have been some of those hilarious stories you've encountered?
People do look at it. I think one of the first things they say is it's misspelled, but I get everything from sticker to St. Cry to St.Cyr to Saint or just Cyr, not the two of them together. Right. And growing up, I had the address of 12345. So with that address and last name, nobody believed anything that I said in regards to who I was.
12345 Cherry Lane, right? It's kind of funny because it's like, okay, so this is an alias, and what are you hiding?
That's it, literally.
Yeah, I get stickers, strikers. Like people, they like waiters and waitresses will come and, do you mind? Like, how do you say your last name?
That's it. Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm always in awe when somebody says it right, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, it's so fun. So yes, we both share the last name St.Cyr, and our relation is of the heart and soul to help others in their lives. So we're getting to know Kara today. And so you began as a client, let people know, what has life been like for Kara? It's, we learn from each other's stories and we feel connected whenever we realize, hey, we didn't come into this world with all the answers. And we're not here to go, hey, do it as I do and your life will be amazing. No, we have guidance systems inside of us. So let us get to know Kara a little bit more. Where do you come from? What was that growing up period of time like?
I am a native Houstonian, lived here all my life, a very proud Texan. Mm-hmm. And I grew up in what I would have always considered a loving family, with challenges in regards to relationships with my brother and my sister. And so at a very young age, it was none of us were alike. And so it was a challenge. And being the youngest, I probably was picked on the most and called the goody two shoes and just learned from all of their mistakes. And, it's interesting. At one point in time, I experienced a lot of death in my life that I had not experienced before. And it was like on a 2-year calendar, I lost my sister to suicide. And then my father had been sick, but I think he also was heartbroken when he passed away. And then right after that, my best friend passed away from cancer. And then just a few years later, I've lost my brother who most likely died of alcoholism. And so I encountered all of those challenges. And I think just for the longest time, I was stuck. I was like, I don't know how to deal with this. I don't really know how to move forward. Where do I get my support? And it was just always back there in the back of my mind, there's got to be something more. I moved to San Diego. I thought, I'm going to get brave. We're going to step out of Houston. I loved it there, but it was a learning experience. As I've discovered, the older I've gotten, I have learned from all my experiences that I've gone through. And had a quick trip back to Houston for a 6-month contract. And 2 months into my contract, I got into a car accident.
Oh, man.
And that car accident is what has ultimately led me to becoming a bonfire coach.
Interesting. We did not hit her. That was not a bonfire car that hit her.
No. That is not our way of recruiting people. No.
Right. That's not our way of recruiting people. But how did a car accident lead you to becoming a coach?
Well, it's interesting in that the accident itself resulted in a blood clot being dislodged, and I ended up having to have, I was in surgery for 14 hours and just ended up with 10 incisions, 115 staples, and it's just like, why? What is going on? And through some attempt to discover some things, I was actually referred to Dr. Jackie St.Cyr for some chiropractic work. And because, again, the name, it's like, well, she's got to be really good. And so I went, and not only was she amazing, but it was a different kind of chiropractic work than I had expected. Right. And through that relationship, I have gotten to know you, and I've gotten to know the other bonfire coaches, which ultimately led me to say, I know I'm stuck and I need something. Yeah. And I just knew the energy that Bonfire Coach gave to me, coaching gave to me, that was the right place for me to begin my journey and my search. And that's awesome. How I ended up with Bonfire Coaching.
There you go. Thanks for sharing. And so another asterisk in our story is that you mentioned Dr. Jackie St.Cyr, who has been one of our guests here on the podcast. She happens to be my wife. And yes, life led me to Jackie after, my body was in pain. I was also feeling stuck. And the universal energies, those invisible forces, that have a lot more intelligence than any of us, thank goodness, led me to walk through her door. And of course, not only did she help me with my nervous system and the pain in my body, but she became my beloved, which I'm extremely grateful for. And so nature and life is always leading us to our destiny if we're listening, right?
Absolutely. That's the key. Listen, that's the key.
Yeah. And I'm Irish on both ends, and so I'm stubborn to the core, and so it takes a little bit. I think the angels, the day that they had Jackie and I meet, I think they finally rejoiced. I think there was a big party in heaven and in the ethereal realms that they said, finally, we did it. Boy, was that a project that took too many years. It took way too many years. And so here we are. And so, yes, leading the bonfire and having bonfire coaches, which we select each one of our bonfire coaches because of your history and your heart and your soul. It's an energy that we have here. And so, Kara, I know that, life circumstances led you to that stuck place, but not everybody latches onto, I want to own my life and take myself to the next level. So what was it like whenever you were you were first a client, when you were early into being aware of the bonfire methodologies and, the above the line, below the line, the boxes, the understandings of energy states, and how do you transform your thinking? Whenever you first had those awarenesses, where did you begin to see your life transform?
It's interesting because I didn't expect the transformation to happen so quickly. And it was truly committing to the process and seeing that the tools that Bonfire Coaching had to offer are very different than any of the other experiences that I've had in trying to move forward or to change my life. And so working as a client with Bonfire Coaching, seeing how easy it was, I say easy, when you're committed, looking at and saying, oh, I recognize now where I have been. I've been below the line. I understand that my thinking has helped to lead to these circumstances, that my thinking has led me to believe that I am not capable or I'm not good enough. And after spending time with my coach and the tools, it was just amazing, the energy that I felt seeing results, using the tools, and then being curious and excited and wanting to take it to that next level. And awesome. That's, I knew immediately I had found the right place and had found the right tools to help me get where I wanted to go and continue to want to go.
Thank you so much. And one thing that I remember one of your bigger goals were at that time was getting a new career. And yes. Tell us about that history, because it's been an amazing ride for you in the last year and a half.
It was. It has been, most definitely. So being stuck and trying to figure out what it was that I wanted to do, I became more passionate about, wow, this has helped me so much. I can only imagine what it can do for others. So in my mind, I knew at some point I was going to become a bonfire coach. In that process, and having grown so much, I was searched out for a position in Saudi Arabia. It's not anything that I had looked for myself, and it's nothing that passed through the realm of my consciousness of something that I'd want to do. But knowing that I had what it takes and I had the tools to take with me, and that my warrior was going to walk with me, I took a dive and I said, I'm going for it. And with the support of Bonfire Coaching and my coach and the other coaches, there was just so much support and excitement that I knew there was no way it wasn't going to happen. And sure enough, I got the job and on my own packed up and moved to Saudi Arabia by myself in October of 2019 and was just so excited for an amazing experience.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I remember that courage inside of you and that frivolity and that excitement and to adventure into literally a foreign land and to take who you are and leave behind. I mean, it takes a lot of courage and vision to say, I'm going for it. Do you remember that version of yourself that was, just take us to the place where, one, you're packing, you're having to select the things that are going to go with you, right? You can't take everything.
No.
You took your cats, right?
I did take my cats.
So cats can go to Saudi Arabia. You took your cats and then you land in Saudi Arabia. What's it like, an American, that you've been a professional here, career professional here, a corporate trainer, and you land in Saudi Arabia? Take us to that moment.
It's exciting because the first thing I wanted to do was just learn anything and everything that I could about Saudi Arabia and what living there was going to be like. And I was well aware that there had been a lot of changes made in the country, literally right before I arrived. So it was new and women were allowed to drive, whereas a couple of years ago, they weren't allowed to drive. So getting off the airplane was the first time I had to put an abaya on and put the hijab on to cover the hair. And so it was so exciting. Like, we got there and I'm like, it's 2:00 in the morning and I've got to put my abaya on. And it was, I want to say, almost like a kid in a candy store. You just get off the plane and you're just like, I'm really here. Like, I'm really doing this. And, being picked up, taken to the hotel, rest, and then it was hit the ground running the next day. And it was just learning how to get through everything. How do you get your igama? How do you activate your igama? Where do you need to go to do this? Where do you need to go to do that? And it was an adventure, figuring all that stuff out on my own and knowing, wow, I got this. you know?
And you've got language of words that most of us don't even know what you're talking about. And a gaia, what's that?
An abaya is the dress that to wear. It's generally a black, it's like a dress, a cloak, so to speak, and it literally covers you from your neck all the way down to your ankles, and it covers your arm. And that is what women are expected to wear out in public and at the workplace on a daily basis. And so I found my first abaya in Houston and couldn't wait to go abaya shopping when I got there. And so that is the standard attire that you must go out in public. And then they also have the scarf that covers the hair. Hair is a very important part of the Muslim religion as far as keeping it covered. Everything is about preparing yourself for your future husband. And so it was really exciting to understand that that's why part of the reason why they dress the way that they do. And I was so excited just to jump in and, okay, let me experience it.
That's so fun. I love it. And so you were there even through the pandemic.
Yes.
I mean, nobody would have expected a pandemic. We just don't go, oh, when's the next pandemic going to happen? It's not like hurricane season, right? Here in Houston. So what was it like whenever the world started to shut down?
So, it was interesting. It was 3 months into my stay there, and you start hearing about these things. And at first, it obviously was very concerning. I'm on the other side of the world, and my mom and my family is here, and there was nothing that I could do to get back home. We ended up quarantining, and as a over 55 person in Saudi Arabia, you're considered geriatric.
Whoa.
And so, yes, that was the first slap in the face. It was being called geriatric.
We're old. No, we're not. Okay.
That's it, exactly. So as geriatrics, you weren't allowed to go to work like those under 55 could still go into the office. And so it just became more challenging. At first, I was like, all right, well, this is part of my experience. But literally being quarantined by yourself for 9 months and having those conversations. My mom's 90, and I had always promised her I'm 2 plane rides away. I'm 24 hours away. And I wasn't able to fulfill that. Missed her 90th birthday. So I maintained my health, physical and mental health, while I was still there. However, when I came home, I realized that it really had taken a toll on me. And I was so thankful for the experience and came home with okay, I'm supposed to learn something from it. And that's how I've approached the experience at this point in time. I never got to travel. That was one of my big whys for going over there. And so I didn't really get to see the world that I wanted. But it was not an experience that I wanted. It was an experience that I needed, though. And that's the way that I have viewed that opportunity.
That's beautiful. And so, what I'm hearing there is that we have a blueprint. We have a vision. Of course we do. We're visionary beings to see our future and to plan in the regard to reach that, right? And as a coach, you help clients do that. You help them find that clarity, find those goals, find that energy of their future selves, and then to chunk that back down into what action steps do we need to then, form in order to make that progress that's necessary. And sometimes that blueprint doesn't add up to what we had a vision for, and how are we going to be with it, as opposed to either pissed off or regretful or angry or fearful to even take a next step. You can imagine someone saying, great, well, that didn't work out, so I'm not going to do it again. Is that, your own inventory of this season of your life? What gifts have come from that in your self-analysis?
It's interesting. Number one, I'm much more resilient than I ever thought that I could be, which is wonderful. I knew I was resilient already, but this just kind of took it to a whole another level. And I have heard several times that we train people on how to treat us. And I became very aware of how I had trained people to treat me. And I found myself honestly being bullied over there. And so what I've learned and stepped away with is I deserve more than that. And I know better on how to teach people how to treat me, and walked away knowing I will not be bullied. I will not allow myself to be bullied again. I have the strength and the tools to move away from that and be okay with that and saying, I've learned, now it's time to move on. What can I take with me on my next go round, so to speak? Wonderful. But I'm all ready for another adventure. It is not me from finding adventure out there, not at all.
Yeah, that did not quiet that part of Kara at all. It's
not
probably made it even louder, because if you've quarantined for 9 months.
Yeah, it was
in a foreign country.
In a foreign country, yes. And I laugh because, my joke was there was a new group formed on Facebook that was like your view out your back window, and people were sharing what they were seeing when they were quarantined. And I spent 9 months looking at a concrete basketball court. And so that was my view. And it was just a joke. No, it was not pretty, but it did become my joke of this is my view. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go. I love your attitude. So as a bonfire coach, you've helped many individuals that have come to the bonfire, as we say. They come with their own struggles or problem sets or a feeling of stuckness, whatever that is. We all have those seasons of our life. And, each one of us has that now. Wherever you are in your life now, there's going to be a level of stuck somewhere in your life of where you're growing. And so let's dive into talking about some of the people that you've helped, sans names, of course, some of the people that you've helped. What did they appear with? What were their goals? And take us on the journey of you working as a coach with your clients.
I've had the wonderful fortune of working with individuals who find themselves stuck as far as career-wise. I don't know what I want to do. I don't even know how to move forward. I've been looking for a job. Nothing's working. And so the individuals that have come to me that I've had the opportunity to work with don't know what that big vision is and don't know how to get to that big vision. And so I know one of the things and one of the tools that has helped me so much in Bonfire is the identification of my warrior and my saboteur. And I find that I call on my warrior so much. And that's one thing that I have just so happily shared with my clients is helping them find who that warrior is and understanding that they have great strength, more strength than they thought. And so starting out on that foot and getting them to recognize that power and that energy. And with all of my clients, it's taking them to that next level as well. Let's get out of that energy poor, energy neutral, and get them above the line and aware that how they think and their connections and interactions with people will make a huge difference in their mindset and their success as well.
Right. So tell us about a client, if you can think of a client that came with that and someone who latched onto that methodology of the saboteur and the warrior easily and made that transformation. Where did he or she, transform into? Were they, like you said, you're a career coach, that's your specialty here at Bonfire. What was happening? Were they laid off? Were they in between jobs? Did they already have a job and they wanted to leap to the next one? What was that like in working with your client?
I have one particular client in mind that I'm thinking of, and she was not happy in the role that she had and had been trying to find other roles, but was having zero success with it. So within our first meeting, we did our kickoff session. I kind of found out where her pains, where her hurts and everything were. And in that very next session, we dove right into who's your saboteur, who's your warrior. And it was instantaneous that she knew who these individuals were and had a name for them and really jumped in. And by our third session, she had both of them fleshed out. She had names, she knew what they looked like, and she was actually referring to herself as her warrior name and recognizing, oh, that's my saboteur sneaking in. Example, making her feel like an imposter, that I'm here and I know what I'm doing, but I think people think I don't know what I'm doing. And so it was exciting to see her embrace that and understand that she's not an imposter and that is just her lower mind having her believe that she is.
Yeah. How powerful is that right out of the gate, right? Only 3 sessions in to start having that energy of transformation. And what happened with her career pursuits?
We worked on her resume. We worked on her epic story, which is a big part of career coaching, and let her know that you want to be remembered when you have these interviews. So we worked on her resume, her epic story, and we did, used all of our tools. What are absolute must in your career? What would be nice to have? What are the deal breakers? We're not looking for anything outside of these right here. And within, honestly, 3 weeks, she had a job offer, and it was for a position doing exactly what she wanted to do with her creativity and content development. She was remote, which is exactly what she was looking for. It was higher than the dollar amount that she had put down on her would be nice to have. And from that moment on, it's just, I get so excited every time I talk to her, because I can't believe they're paying me to do this. I can't believe they really think that I can do this. I'm like, you did, you are your proof.
So cool. So cool.
Yeah.
I love it. And then there are clients, and I know each one of us have these experiences that sometimes we will sign up for coaching and not, dive into the possibility of all that's offered. And sometimes our resistance meets with our growth game. That part of us that wants to have a beautiful life, the next step, that journey, that adventure, and dive into it. Yet there's this other part of us that holds us back, that comfort zone, the part that's like, I already know this. Why do I need anything more than this? Why do I want to have a better life? I should just be okay where I am. And in a coaching situation, we as coaches get to see that inner conflict, right? That conflict and that resistance portray itself in the coaching session and even in our clients' lives. Could you share of a client that you've also experienced that side of the equation with?
Absolutely. I'm working with an individual right now who I will never forget the first day she came in. It was just so energy poor, energy neutral, and she just was stuck. I don't know what to do with my life. I'm getting pushed by others to say, hurry up and make a decision. And there was fear that I'm going to make this decision, that I'm going to be stuck with it for the rest of my life. And it's that fear that I recognize that is keeping her from moving forward. It's that lower mind thinking that says, well, this is it. If I do this, I have to do it. And so it's exciting to open up their mind and the possibilities that, no, you don't have to have one career. You can have 5 careers. You can do this until you decide you don't like it. And then I know there's more out there that you are excited about. And so it's exciting, and it's exciting to see how they light up and how the tools that we share with them can be helpful. And what's challenging for a coach is you want that success and you want that success. However, you have to recognize that I can't do the work for them. And so that is one of my challenges with this particular client that I'm thinking is, I just am so excited. I know the possibilities out there. However, without input and work on their side, that achievement just won't be there. It's going to be a lot longer getting there.
Right. And I love that you point that out. As coaches, we guide. As coaches, we present tools and strategies and ways of being, yet our clients must do that. That old adage that you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them drink, right?
Yes.
And that comfort zone side of us, that what we learn here at Bonfire is that the saboteur mindset is all about certainty. It's all about comfort. It's all about safety. It's all about figuring it out. No risk there. Don't risk anything. You've got to have absolutes. You've got to know it's going to work. And boy, is that painful. I know I was in a season of my own life where I wanted to have all the answers before I took a leap. And that, the leap that I ended up taking was a divorce. I was the one that called for a divorce in our marriage, my previous marriage. And it's, wow, God, it takes so much courage. And you're going to leap into the unknown. I was married for 20 years, and it is just painful. And it wasn't just painful for me, it's painful for the other as well. We weren't a great match. We loved each other, but it wasn't of love. It was, we'd grown to the place where it was just simply roommates, and sometimes not even really great roommates. And so I knew something had to shift. You just know in your life when that pain is just there, and it's there all the time. And you're trying to make it look good. You're going to therapy to try and find the that magic pill that you can take to make life shift. And it's just more painful because that pill didn't work, and the other pill didn't work, and this thing didn't work. And the truth is, you realize you have to face it and go, what really needs to happen is we need to love each other enough to say goodbye to each other. We're really good at hellos. We're crap at breakups. And so I had to summon the courage to make that leap and to take that move. And for years, I was in anguish. I was in absolute anguish of thinking I'm going to screw stuff up. Can't I just be happy here? Why can't I find happiness? Like, just be a happy person. And, and I didn't know, and I was looking for that certainty, and the looking for certainty was the thing that was keeping me stuck. And so in our clients' lives, we see that oftentimes they're looking for certainty. They're looking to make sure there's going to be a guarantee. Like, I'm going to sign up for coaching. You're going to have the answers. I'm going to do what you tell me to do. And whenever you tell me to do this, then it's going to give me that outcome that I want. And coaching isn't that, is it, Kara?
No, not at all. Not at all. There must be a willingness to be open and receptive to what the universe has to offer, and to become much more intuitive in what those wants are that you actually have, and have an understanding of how to actually get to that. And so there is that sense of safety. Okay, if I just consider status quo, I'm not miserable, but I'm just not happy, but it's safe, it's comfortable. And God, just through experience and understanding, there's so much more out there. We just have to let ourselves be open to it. And that's what I like to bring people to, is being open, finding that receptivity, and having those aha moments.
And journeying with them through the process. So who would be that person that you would say, if I'm putting out my calling to you, and they're listening, they're here, part of our audience, and they're saying, I really resonate with Kara. Her journey has made me curious. Who is it that you're saying, if this is you, if this is your mindset, if this is your current state of affairs, if this is your vision and your want for yourself, then I would love to meet you, and I'd love to have the opportunity to coach you? Who would that person be?
It's the individual who is stuck in their current life right now, that knows there's something more out there, whether it be I want a new career or a new job, or whether it's I want to grow in this job, I just don't know how to do it. I would love to work with you to help you get to that point where you are in a job or a career that you find extremely fulfilling and that you get energy from, and to give you the opportunity to grow and learn, so that you can then share your knowledge and your talents and your skills with those who you are working with. And so I really get very excited about those challenges of wanting that growth, but not knowing where you're going, or wanting change, but not knowing exactly how to make that change. So if you're stuck and you want some more excitement, and you want to grow in your career and in your life, I'm looking for you. I have my life experiences, and I love to bring those to the table and share with people, share with these individuals who are lost and stuck, and share with them the possibilities of where you can go, and you don't have to stay stuck. And so if you're looking to move forward, come see me.
Yeah, Kara's an amazing coach. I love Kara's way of being. And just an aside, she's a tall woman and she wears heels. That speaks volumes. So ladies, if you're listening, if you've got a tall lady and she comes, with those heels, not just little heels, you get the 3-inchers?
I do. I love heels.
I love that. When you can rock the heels as a tall woman, like, that's some confidence inside of your backbone. I love it. That's cool.
Thank you.
And so thank you for being a bonfire coach. Thank you for taking that leap and saying yes and adding your skill sets. People probably haven't heard, you'll read in Kara's bio at bonfirecoaching.com. that she is a corporate trainer. And she trains managers, she trains leaders inside large organizations. That's why she was flown and hired into this Saudi Arabian company to bring her skill sets over there to train their leadership and their executives. And so if you find yourself on that career track, if you're brand new into corporate America or corporate anything, and you're saying, I want to become an effective leader, speaker, presenter, guide within my organization, then Kara has great skills, great aptitudes, great understanding there. And if you're in a career and you say, I want to take a leap, I'm not happy where I am, I know that there's more out there, you want a career guide to help you, then Kara is your coach. Awesome.
You say that so eloquently. Thank you very much. You nailed it.
You're welcome. Yeah, I have a background in radio and TV, so I know how to talk. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your energy here, Kara. Love being in the coaching family with you and watching you shine and watching all the clients that you get to help and seeing them emerge. It's just wonderful to watch. And it happens so fast. That's what's fun. It happens so fast. Once they dive in, they're like, whoa, this is cool. It happened. Right?
Yeah. Awesome. I'm living proof to show you how well it can work. And that's what I want to share. Absolutely.
That's awesome. And so thank you for being an audience member of the Light Your Life podcast. We are in your ear once a week, and please do subscribe and share the wisdom that you find here with others. That's how we grow and how we can vibrate out into the world and affect a humanity that is ready and hungry for positive change in their lives. That's what the strategies here at Light Your Life bring you. I'm your host, Tina Marie St.Cyr. I love that you're here with us. Thank you for listening and thank you for sharing. Find us at bonfirecoaching.com and then find all of our social handles right there. And if you go over to the About and scroll down to the team, you're going to meet our coaches, and Kara St.Cyr is there. Go read her bio, get to see her lovely picture and hear more about her there, and then say yes to a discovery session because you get to meet Kara St.Cyr. Reach out and let us see you too. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.